Okay, so question 9, we've got 15.9 times 100. So if we do this one, 15.9, if we times a number by 100, right, if we times something by 10, it moves like this. The decimal point would go to there, it become 159. Decimal point moves like that if you times it by 10. If you times it by another 10, so you times it by 100, it moves twice. So every time you times it by another 10, it moves every time once. So 10, 100, 1,000, 10,000. So if you times it by 10, the point moves to there. Times it by another 10, the point would move to there. We just stick a 0 in here every time it jumps. So 1590. 1,000. There we go. Okay, so the next bit, work out 0.3 times 0.8. Now these are decimals, it looks confusing, but just forget the decimals, just do 3 times 8. 3 times 8. That's 24. Now I ignored the decimals. If you look here, this number here, that's 1 decimal point that I ignored. 1 decimal point I ignored. And on this one, that's another decimal point I ignored. So we've got to stick them back in. So I ignored 1 decimal point there, 1 decimal place, and another decimal place. So altogether I've ignored 2 decimal places. So our answer's got to have 2 decimal places in it. So it came to 24. Stick 2 decimal places back in. 1 decimal place would be to there, another one would be to there. So 0.24. That's the answer. Alright. Write 25329 correct 2 significant figures. Now put the comma in so I can read this nicely. 25,327 correct 2 significant figures. So this thing, a significant figure, that means like significant numbers. So the first significant figure is this one here, the 2. The next significant figure is the 5. So first significant figure 2, second one the 5. Then we use the rounding rule. So look at the next number. If it's 5 or more, that 5 will go up to a 6. But it's a 3, so it's less than 5. So that's going to stay as a 5. So we've got 2, 5, first significant figures. Next is a 3, so it doesn't affect the 5 here. Everything else becomes a 0, 0, 0. So our answer is 25,000, 25,000. The last one here, write 0.00675 correct to 1 significant figure. Now with decimals, we've got to remember zeros at the start, they're not significant. So here the first significant figure is actually the 6. These zeros, they're not significant. It's only if the zeros are like in between a number. If we had something like this, 102, that's significant and that's significant because it's after a number. But if there's enough numbers at the start, they're not significant. So that's not significant, that's not significant, that's not. First significant figure is that. Look at the next number like usual. If it's 5 or more, that 6 is going to change to a 7. So that is a 7. It's going to round this up 1 place to a 7 as well. So we've got 0.007. Everything else disappears. So we've got a 1 significant figure. Everything else disappears and turns into zeros, which we don't really need to write because there's no point writing 0.00700. Those zeros don't matter. So this is going to be our answer. 0.007.